Hello, my name is Charles, and in today's video, I wanted to do kind of a deep dive, kind of an interesting little deep dive into attention, right? We all know paying attention is important, right? In class, growing up, in school, our teachers were like, you got to be able to pay attention in class, you got to be able to focus in conversation, we got to be able to pay attention to what the other person is saying when we're working or studying or anything we want to do. We got to be able to pay attention. We just got to do it, And so, and we know what we don't want, right? We know, let's say when we were 10 years old, there was the rambunctious, super ADHD kid who's blurting out when he's excited and then an hour later, falling asleep in class and stuff. That was me, So that was me, and we know we don't want to be super ADHD. So what is the ideal? If we did a little thought experiment where we're not just paying attention, right? Like someone telling us while we're driving, hey man, look where you're going. But we want to know what are the best qualities of attention? Not just paying attention, but what's the best the ideal form or areas of growth for paying attention. Now, I get this idea from a wonderful man whom I greatly respect and used to watch growing up, and he's a Buddhist scholar, right? And he many accolades, but just seems like a wonderful, sensible, wholesome, good human being. And his name is Alan Wallace. And he had described three main qualities of attention that I think everyone should probably know about or want to cultivate or thinks is at least interesting. And that being, stability, continuity, and vividness. Now, first, right, when I say stability of attention, what does that mean, right? And if we go back to the ADHD kid in class example, stability of attention, right? If the ADHD kid in class is super excitable, right? Is a subject he loves. He's oh my gosh, I know all about science and geology. I love geology. And he starts talking about all the rocks and he nerds out for a bit, right? Having a wonderful time. Go him, but also he's, he may be interrupting the class, right? All that. And so for him, that's excitation, right? If we imagine the attention, now it's at the peak, excitation. It's just bursting, right? Which is a little scattered. It's a little hyperactive, right? And now we take the other side of that. What's the other side of that coin? Is laxity. The kid falling asleep, at his desk. When we say this guy's sleeping on the job, nobody's supposed to be sleeping on their job, So, yeah, because we know, to be able to do, anything productive or anything worthwhile, you can't be sleeping on the job. You gotta be able to keep your attention present. You gotta be able to stay awake. So there's just not going to be some degree, right, of stability of your attention. That means it's not oscillating too much, It's not like a bipolar attention. It's not oscillating too much between excitation, super, 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 exploding. And it's not, too, it's just a calm, or it's a steady attention. Now, the next is vividness of attention. So this is, in contrast, this is the opposite of dullness, right? So if we imagine when people say take a good, a good hard look at this, what they're trying to refer to is basically not just pay attention to this, but really vividly, with intensity, pay attention to it. So they're trying to refer to a quality of attention where something is illumined to you, it's vivid, it's clear, right? You don't have the brain fog. You're not because you can look at someone, right? Be trying to pay attention to what they're saying, but you have so much brain fog or like, mental nonsense going on in your head that it's not even clear what they're saying or you're not understanding. So it's not a vivid attention. So not only do we want our attention to be stable, right? We don't want it to be, quote unquote bipolar attention. We want stable attention, right? That's not oscillating too much between excitation and laxity. We want to be vivid. We want things to be clear and bright, and sharp. And then lastly, we want continuity of attention. Because, anything worth doing, anything truly worth doing is worth doing well. And if we want to do something well, then we have to pay attention to it for a sustained period of time, right? If we look at a great master, right, they say like to master a skill, it takes 10,000 hours. That's sustained attention. That's not just like, here and there. That's, continuity of attention. You're continuing your focus on a single task, right? This could be in a micro sense, right? On a single task, on the present moment, on, the conversation you're having. And this can be in a macro sense, right? Like in your life, you want continuity on like a dream or a goal or a, who you're devoted to, a romantic partner, right? And so I think it makes sense, right? That kind of, the term in Buddhism is called calm abiding or shamatha. But essentially, it's these three fundamental characteristics of attention that I think not only just paying attention in life, but the best way, sorry, my OBS just kind of glitched out there, but the best way to pay attention being, the best kind of attention is a stable attention, is a clear, luminous attention, and lastly, a continuity of attention on whatever task, person you love, idea you love, or just, way of being that is born of love. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Have fun with this idea, and God bless.